What's going on, guys? So today, figured I'd continue on with the ECTO-1 build. I got parts from last month, and I just got the new parts from this month. So in this particular update video, we're going to be working on the driver's side door, finishing that up from last time. Working on the driver's side big door. Got all the parts for that, and then whatever is in this box. So we're going to check it out real quick. Now, in theory, this might be the back door, or at least the back windows, because I know you don't get the fins for quite some time later. So this might be like the frame of the back door, or at least the back window itself without the things. And I've already done like several unboxings this week, so why not? Get even more. Okay, so there's that, the big window, along with the gears and all that. So that's funny, they make you wait to complete the door for the next time. Okay, so here's more gearing and trim and all that bit there. That's part 88. And yep, big rear window right there, so that's cool. And the glass that inherently goes with it. So that'll mean basically the driver's side of the car, with the exception of course of the roof stuff, will be essentially done, which is kind of cool. Let me see here. This should be fairly quick, realistically, but I love the fact that once again we have real working geared windows that work. And then you have the door handles that supposedly work. I say supposedly because I'm not sure. I wish I had some of the lube. Uh-oh. Gotta make sure you hook up the door switch. Because once again, that's one of the cool things, is that the doors work on the actual interior lights. And yes, I decided to wear the ECTO-1 hat while building, because I wanted to sweat even more than usual. It's pretty cool of the wraparound, the huge wraparound window glass. And I do install it. Cool. This is actually, it's a perfect leave-off point. And I don't know if the fender, like the rear quarter, comes next. It might. So let's skip ahead to the end. Nope, it jumps over to the passenger side doors. So that's cool. And it looks like that set gives you everything to complete the passenger front door. Once again, I always forget to turn off notifications. So what I'm gonna do here is try to set up for a time lapse. In theory, that should work. So this is the instructions for this stuff. And I'm going to work here on the kitchen counter because I feel like hurting my back. Actually, just because I have good lighting. You know, these overhead little lights here, you know, not only make my man boobs look fantastic, pretty good for lighting stuff. It looks like I can leave the chassis over there and just bring the main body, because that's all I really need to do this part. And in theory, given that I won't need the millions of screws I already have, I think I'm just going to start saving whatever's left over and then going from there. Also, I had the tiny screwdriver out. So that's the one big problem with the current ECTO-1 stuff, is that the screws are getting very tiny. I want to get back to much larger screws that are easy to facilitate with the tools given, because I'm starting to break down my screwdrivers, and that's not a good thing. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so that concludes the driver door. And what's cool is you get the actual window knob, whatever that technically is, the actual door handle, the handle to close the door, of course the hinge and stuff I still have to put on. But what's cool is the real working window. It kind of has a hitch in the middle there, but it actually works. That's really freaking cool. Gotta love that. So, next thing up will be assembling the secondary door, I think, or installing this one, probably, if I had to guess, actually. Yeah, so the next part up will be installing it. I wasn't paying attention. There is actually a itty bitty tiny chrome piece. I think it's this guy. That's the door lock from the outside. Let's see here. This is a case of I should find my tweezers. Like, this is something that should have been put on before. Okay, because it's got a half moon shape to it, so it only goes in the one way. Okay, there we go. Now we have it. Now we have it complete. So that's pretty good. Okay, and then you have to put the, I think this looks like this little guy here. Could be wrong. Nope, that's it. So you gotta put this little guy on the inner frame of the door here. And then screw on the door itself. Using some really long JM screws, which are here. And then that should conclude just the driver door by itself. So that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. And then it looks like the hinge assembly and everything for the next one is pretty much the same. But once again, I kind of like how they wrap around, like you're doing only the driver's side, and then you're gonna come around and do only the passenger side, and then I assume you're gonna do the back door. I thought it would go all the way around, like to getting to the back door and then wrap around to the front over here. So let's get to that part. Alright guys, so I ran into a little bit of a snag while working on this door. So the like little tiny intermediate gear right there in the middle actually had a very deformed tooth, and I ended up having to bust out a file to correct it, or else it was not working. I mean, it was like too tall and a block, like, so it would not gear at all. Now it's a little bit wonky, but not as bad as it was. Oh jeez, did I scuff the fuck out of the door? Looks like I did. I don't even know how. It was laying right here, but door panel got a bit scuffed. So now here's the cool part. So I need to crank the window up to there. It looks like that's one of the highest places, thereabouts. And then take the window and place it on the track, and use another one of these little guys. These are UP screws. Oops, it's an up screw, and attach that. So the other problem I had, if you guys could see in the time lapse, ended up having the little rubber felt guard, as it were, kind of got hung up on me. Come on. Okay, you stay there. Okay, that's a little bit better. So there's a there's a felt piece that runs across here to protect the window from when it's going up and down. And it got stuck to my glove. So I put on the glove to protect from sweat, as I'm sweating immensely right now. Okay, so that should be pretty good. It's a little loose, but it should be good for the window. And then close it up. But you know what I did not do? There's no protective film on this side. So hold on, because I just realized that. I was like, wait a minute, that's all on the other side. So they give you these little guys here, but I don't know if the instructions skipped it or what. Like, those normally go here in like the higher stress places. Which, yes, is not easy to do with the gloves on, but doing what I can with what I got. Okay, so stick it to the knife, peel back, and stick on. Which is weird. Normally it tells you to do that like right at the beginning of doing the door panel. Either I'm blind or it didn't tell me to do that. It only told me to put it on the outside window. Or the outside of the window, I should say. Okay, so let's try this again. Alright, so that's across there. Put the window glass back in. So that way it's, when you're going up and down, it's not just tracking directly on the door frame and scratching the tint off, which is 100% what would happen. Come on. Stupid screw. One problem with the magnetic screwdriver is, while a fantastic object under normal circumstances, when your screw doesn't want to line up properly, it makes things very wonky. Okay, so that's that. Doors up all the way. Now I need to lower it. Nope, the other way. Wait, why? Did I push it up too far? Which way is my door facing? I think I got the window backwards. Hold on. It's like now I think I got it backwards. Yeah, I got it backwards. Oops. I was like, that ain't working. It's always something, guys. It's always something. Oh yeah, that works out better. Okay, so now I can crank it down. Like I said, it's still getting hung up a little bit. Okay. So when you put it in the door, you got to get it past the window guides. Which ain't easy. There you go. Get it in the channels. And finagle everybody where it needs to go. Alright, so this part goes in here. Gotta get the hinge out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna complete this off screen and come right back. Okay, so I got the back window in, but you guys can see that top trim piece sucks balls. Like, you have to bend that metal piece around that edge, and it did not want to stay on. So I'm gonna have to do something, I don't know, creative, super glue wise, something like that. But this side is, you know, pretty well done. Looks pretty good, except for the part that's a pain in the ass. And actually, like, you can see here, like, for some reason, this doesn't sit down, and I don't know why. Like, that sits down, this sits down, this sticks out. Not sure why. Don't know if it's supposed to, but that's the way it is. So Well, that's it for this ECTO-1 update. Just got those two doors, and then next up, I guess, other doors. Joy.